Hello guys, how's it going? I hope you're all well. So, yeah, there's been a bit of an upgrade to the American 50 cal. Now, I've done some testing today and been testing tirelessly this morning, seeing if it applies to all 12.7mm guns. Doesn't seem to, it only seems to apply to the high velocity guns, which is your American variant, possibly some later variants in other tech trees. But your sort of low tier 50 cals on, say, the Japanese planes and the Italian planes, which are other predominant users. Not many Japanese planes, I know, but there are a couple. Predominantly, it's the Italian planes that have 50 cals on them, other than the Americans. Um, so I've done some testing between all of that, and well, what I've come up with is the change of performance. It seems they've changed the velocity. They've changed something with the velocity of the bullets, from what I've read. You get less drop and velocity works better, which basically means 50 cals work better. Now, this is both good and bad. 50 cals should be pretty devastating because they were. 50 caliber rounds are pretty big buggers. If you've ever held a 50 caliber bullet in your hand, you know the weight of it. A 707 is just nothing compared to a 50. And when you're shooting beams of hot lead at people, 50 cals tend to do the job pretty well. The Americans found that out in World War II, hence the wide use of them. Now, I am in the upgraded version of the old P-36 Hawk, the old Curtis P-36 Hawk, the P-40 Warhawk, or Kitty Hawk, or what was the other one? Tomahawk. A few different names for it. This plane is very good. It's low tier, so you generally face things that are very low tier. I think it's about 2.3 on its BR or something like that. Not a very high BR plane. You've got 650 cals though, and this thing can take a beating. It's one of my favourite low tier planes just to bum around in, just for a bit of fun. And with the upgrade to the 50 caliber rounds, this thing is pretty overpowered. For its BR now, it's pretty evil. To give you an idea, I took a P-36 out before, which has 250 cals in the nose, synchronized 50 cals, and I took out a DO-17 with 2 shots. Yeah, pretty impressive. Took out an MC-202 as well, and I was fighting against a P-40, and I used up all my ammunition without downing the bastard. I just basically got sparks and not much else. Now, the tricky thing with that is you do have the 7.7mm guns as well, and those are probably what was sparking. The 50 cals were probably missing target. That's how I use all my ammo, but I did use quite a lot of ammo to no effect. So it very much seems that the 50 caliber sort of upgrade has really only benefited the Americans. Now, I'm yet to test this at high tiers, see how well it does at high tier. I imagine this is because of the Italian line coming in, especially things like the Italian jet fighter, being that only has 50 cals on board, to make it more competitive. So they've made 50 cals what they should have been. The trouble with this is at low tier, well, it basically makes the 50 cal just death. I-16 below me. Dead. About 2 or 3 hits on him. There was barely any hits. Yeah, it was a pilot snipe, so fair enough. But this is the sort of thing I've been having all day with the 50 cals. Now this is by far my best game, but most games I've been having using a plane with 50 cals, I've been decimating. Now head on with an MC202. We both have 50 cals. Look at the difference between the hits. Now I get a few hits on the front, and it damages my engine, of course, but he's very much dead, and I'm still pretty fine. Now, of course, armor and things like that do help in that respect, but the incendiary effects of the 50 cals on the American planes are incredible. They just seem to light everything up sort of instantly, especially at low tier. Now, here I come in diving pretty fast. I'm basically just recklessly coming in here, and what I've been finding is the 50 cals now are more damaging than 20mm Hispanos, which is just insanity, really. When you know, a Hispano is less effective than a 50 cal, that's when you've got to ask questions. And that's sort of what's happened because, well, it's the rate of fire, the velocity of the shells, things like that with the 50 cals just really make a difference, and they just don't spark as much because they've got that velocity upgrade, whereas your 20mm just do nothing. So it now falls to a step where a 50 caliber machine gun is much more effective than a 20mm cannon. Head on with the P36 here. Again, just head-oning. No issue at all. Just taken out so easily. Shadow Streak ×5, triple strike, professional, you know, teamwork on it as well. And we'll get an assist on this CR42. And, well, I decide to bug out here because I'm just thinking, well, engine's going to overheat soon. I could have easily gone and ground pounded, but I wanted to get it home in one piece. So, 50 cals now, are they overpowered? Well, yeah, but 50 cals have always been overpowered. They should be overpowered. The trouble is balancing, and balancing is something you need to do in a video game. And I don't know how they're going to do it because, well, the 50 cals are working as they should do. If you watch any footage of people firing a 50 caliber machine gun from a plane, you see how effective it is. The big thing here, though, is this is a game and it needs to be somewhat competitive. Now, what's been happening in ground battles is because of this upgrade in the 50 cal penetration, is any vehicle with less than 20mm top armor is getting absolutely annihilated by planes with 50 caliber machine guns. And yeah, that did happen a bit before. I mean, we've always had, you know, 50 cals doing damage, especially if you've played low tier Japanese tanks. But it's much more prominent now, and it's affecting the game a little bit because I've played about 10 games this morning, and 8 of them I've played in Italian planes and a Japanese plane. Lost every single match that wasn't a mixed battle, but even mixed battles I've been losing. But lost every single match because, you know, you sort of get a few hits on target with your guns and they do bugger all. But as soon as an American plane gets on your 6, it only takes 2 or 3 hits and your plane is going down in flames. And yeah, that's how 50 cals should work because that's how they worked. But at the same time, that's very damaging to the actual gameplay. Now, something I'm going to test just quickly, now that this game is over. I actually came second in this game, because I didn't go hitting a couple of ground targets, but 5 kills with an assist, I will take that any day. Pretty happy with that. So, one thing I've not actually tested yet is the effectiveness of 50 caliber anti-aircraft guns. So let's just quickly as professional as ever. I could cut this. I know I could cut it. It's easy enough to cut. But I'm incredibly lazy and I can't be asked. Let's try the quad. So I imagine it will be the same because these are the same sort of guns. So I imagine the 50 cal anti-aircraft guns now are going to be much more effective. Well, some good hits there. BF-110 just got absolutely schwacked. Now, from a distance, just with this Panzer, yeah, that's pretty normal and effective. It's hard to tell really, but it does seem a bit more penetrative than normal. That's the word we're going for. That BF-110's coming back now, so let's just try and get some hits on it. I think I'm using the wrong ammo anyway. I think I've got my arm piercing ammo set first. There we go. Well, not too overpowered for destroying the aircraft. Panzer IV there, from this distance, is getting a good hammering. Doubt will penetrate the Panther from this range. But that's the thing that's been affected most, is distance penetration. So basically they lose less velocity, so they go through armor a bit easier at distance. So don't imagine we can do much on that Panther. Nope, that's still fair enough. But it will be interesting to see how long this lasts, and how long this lasts really, because I imagine this is going to get hit with the Nerf baton pretty hard at some stage soon. That's just my high explosives just peppering the sea there. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens with this. No penetration, but I think it's the ammunition I've got loaded rather than anything else. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long this lasts. But if you do fancy grinding up American planes, I'd recommend doing it now while the 50 cals are still predominant. As I said, even in things like the F2A1 as well, I flew with, it's just got twin 50 cals on it, twin Brownings, and I could take out German planes with that with no trouble. It will be interesting to see how well bombers go, if the Brownings on the Super Fortress are a bit more effective now as well. So yes, we shall wait and see. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Let me know in the comments what you think about the buff to the 50 cals. Let me know what your experience is as well with other nations' 50 cal rounds. There's not too many 12.7s in the Russian line, so I've not really tested them out either. I might take the lag free out and give it a bit of a run, see what happens there. But it just seems to be the Browning that is working better with this update, so it doesn't seem to have affected any other nation yet. But that could well change. I think the main reason for it is because the Italian line is coming and all the Italians use 50 cals. Not many of them have cannons on board, so I think they're having to look at buffing the 12.7mm. But as I said, the 12.7mm on the Italian aircraft and the German sort of aircraft is nowhere near as effective as the American Browning 50 cal. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Okay guys, have a good day and I will catch you next time. This is Screezilla out. Bye bye. So a little update, a little finishing bit to the video today. Just an additional, a PS almost. So yeah, I just did a bit of a test run just to see how well the machine guns do in ground. It's pretty interesting. Let me just ditch those bombs. And let's go in at a poor angle of approach here. Yeah. So, yeah. That's pretty easy, isn't it? So, in the Jug, you've got like, I don't know, 3,500 odd machine gun bullets. You've got a lot of rounds. So, pretty much, I reckon you could take out the whole enemy team with machine guns now. Jesus Christ. Machine guns are more effective than rockets now. Yeah, okay. That needs to be fixed. But then again, historically, it is kind of accurate. Side armor, not so much, but you still get a fair few penetrations. Yeah, 50 cals are definitely going to get hit by the Nerf stick pretty soon. Holy shit, that was crazy. Let's just, missed my rockets there. Oh no, not got any rockets to attack these panzers with. Oh well. Let's just use machine guns on them. That's mental. That is absolutely mental. And I'm not a very good ground shot, so that's pretty crazy. Of course, you're not going to be seeing this sort of tank with the Jug, but strafing runs with machine guns, you can take out about 3 or 4 tanks without any issue. Oh boy, this is going to cause a big old stink, isn't it? Yeah. This is just a custom battle, so if you're wondering why I'm just being so merciless at the moment and not giving a shit what I'm doing, that's why. Good God, you just rip through the back armor of the Panzer like nothing else. So, if you had things like the Kitty Hawk, that will do the same thing. Will be just as effective. T-34, obviously, you're not going to have that same advantage on. But if you do manage to get above it and dive, I reckon you could probably give it a fair old slacking. Let's just see if we can position ourselves in a bit of a dive above it and see if we can get some penetrations on a T-34. No, we ran out of bullets. Oh well. Luckily I can reload. So yeah, this is going to be a really interesting thing. If you want to do well in ground vehicles at the moment, get a American plane with many 50 caliber guns on it and have at it. You're going to have a pretty effective day, I reckon. Yeah, this is going to get nerfed pretty hard pretty soon, I'd say. Yep, we got penetration there, so you can take out a T-34 without any problem as well. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Just indirect fire into this big group. Just the damage you cause, though, that's the thing. Like, it's not just kills. Basically, you're taking out crews. Let's try front on, penetrating through the front as well. You know the trouble you have with SPAAs sometimes when you're in a tank. Yeah, this is really, really, really not very nice. As I said, it's... You're not going to get those kills every strafe run, but you're going to cause a lot of damage. This is really going to be something to be nerfed. For sure. Bad bombs. But you don't even need to worry about bombs at the moment. I mean, the amount of penetration you're getting through the Panzer IV is just crazy there. It's just... That's taken out pretty much his whole crew and ruined his game, so... Yeah, it's a pretty big issue, I'd say. Can penetrate the engine of the T-34 as well. Light tanks, we'll use these as examples of anything, you know, Japanese or anything. These are just going to rip straight through everything. Japanese tanks are going to get absolutely destroyed by planes. Yeah, that's going to be really painful. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's very, 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 very interesting to see. And not in a nice way. In a Jesus H. Christ, that's pretty overpowered. Alright guys, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you later. Alright guys, see ya, bye bye.